I've noticed that you've made some changes for your social media presence, and part of it's the $100 gift card that you're doing. You're doing a lot more of the tweet storm kind of posts. What inspired you to want to like open up your time for a nobody like me to be able to interview you?
A whole bunch of things, man. We flip-turned everything that we're doing upside down.
Really?
And I'm happy to talk about that on the podcast. I mean, I'm not gonna hide anything.
Sure.
What we were doing wasn't working.
Okay.
I unfortunately had to terminate all of my senior staff a few weeks ago.
Wow.
And my entire goal this year for a full year is my own personal brand and platform at the top of the funnel. Wow. Nothing else matters. I opened up enough space that we don't need to make a single sale this year. It's just pure growth, platform, community, engagement, actually serving people, actually listening to people, not bullshitting around it, not fluffy niceties and dumbass corporate speak masquerading as sales pitches. Just, we're legit just gonna start conversations that need to be had and actually listen to people and ask them questions to go a little bit deeper, thank them for sharing what they're doing, and genuinely care and appreciate them when they've shared. And I'll tell you, it's these last 3 weeks that we've kind of started this new plan. And there's a lot of facets to it. What you see is, obviously the top of the onion has been the most energizing 3 weeks that I've had in business in the last 3 years.
Really?
It's been incredible. I forgot how remarkable our community is. I hadn't spoken to them. I got into the seat of being a business owner of, a business owner shouldn't be the one talking to the people and you should hire people to do stuff like that for you and run the business with you, for you. And I did, right. Mm-hmm. And I just kept removing myself from more and more and more and more and more. And then, we had our pandemic moment this year. Basically, last year, the pandemic hit. We were perfectly suited. We had a fantastic year. And then this year, basically what happened was, we were the only game in town for online fitness education. We had the only curriculum. So demand grew really, really quickly. We were the only supply. And then everybody and their mothers started coming out with a course on how to do online fitness. Demand was never that big. Like the total available market is not big at all for, basically individual trainers who don't have anybody working for them, who don't work for anybody else, but are entrepreneurial and want to do online fitness. Like the total available market was never big. And it turns over reasonably quick. And so, acquisition costs are pretty high if you're playing that game. And we always did it organically. And, back in our heyday, we do 1.5 million on a $30,000 ad spend, right? Because we were the only game in town. But what happened as a result of the pandemic is every single certification, every single education company, every Instagrammer with 1,000 followers started to become an expert and teach this thing. Mm-hmm. And that was fine because demand was still high until the world started opening back up in May. Demand, supply is still super high, artificially high. All of a sudden, market doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And I mean, we'll talk about this. I don't even know if this is part of the podcast or not.
Sure.
But we'll talk about this. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't give a shit about online training. I never gave a shit about online training. I cared about what online training did for people, clients, and trainers. It was never about online training for me, right? Which I think is a misconception. And it was only about solving the problem. And so we solved the problem really well. The problem's changed.
Yeah.
So now we're reinventing how we're solving the problem. It's as simple as that.